an update on Tropical Storm Isaac. Isaac is maintaining 60-mile-per-hour winds as it skirts along the northern coast of Cuba. It's on its way to the Florida Keys, where, let's take a look at the watches and the warnings. Well, before we do that, infrared satellite picture is showing a fairly ragged system, but it's going to strengthen as it heads towards the Keys. One thing to note, hurricane warnings are now in effect for the Florida Keys, southern peninsula of Florida, tropical storm warning for the east coast of Florida, as well as Cuba and the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Now, the system, the forecast path has it going up into the eastern Gulf of Mexico, and models have shifted much further west. Let's take a look at the models. Models have shifted west towards Alabama, Mississippi, and possibly as far west as Louisiana, New Orleans. This is a rather large system, so it's not just one point. However, it's interesting to note that the model has switched back to what it was Thursday evening. If you can remember back to that video, Thursday evening the model switched all the way westward towards New Orleans before they switched back east. So we're possibly looking at a landfall somewhere between Pensacola, Panama City, Mobile, Alabama, and New Orleans. Somewhere in between there. It's 60 hours out, so it's hard to get it pinpointed down completely. Now, one thing to note is wind shear. There's a little bit over the Florida Keys, but once it gets past the Florida Keys, this is where sea surface temperatures are approaching 90. This is where this thing's going to blow up. Now, if you look up here, the spaghetti models have it making landfall on the Gulf Coast. If we take a look at the intensity model, up towards 90 knots and then dropping off. 90 knots is borderline category 2, so this system could become a solid category 2 in about 54 to 60 hours. Now, if we take a look at the spaghetti models again, I want to point out some area of concern. This system is going to be allowed to ride up along possibly somewhere in the Appalachians. And this thing could begin to slow down towards the end of the forecast period, especially in the northeastern states. So we could have a flooding concern, particularly along the Appalachians and further northward into the northeast. That's something to keep note of later next week. I'm meteorologist Mark Molnar. We have no more systems or no more updates at the moment. MeteoMark.com, check in for the latest update.